Why is it that you have to move to Lagos to become famous?
So it's the way the country is set up, right? Mm-hmm. This is like the entertainment place. Like anything entertainment, it has to be from Lagos.
We have people who have to move from Port Harcourt to Lagos. We have people who have to move from Abuja to Lagos. We even had some people have to move from London, USA to Lagos just to be famous.
Early days of Nollywood, everything was in Surulere.
I kind of agree, but I also don't agree.
Okay.
A lot of the artists that we have now are not necessarily from Lagos. I think that their craft just needs to be consumed by people in Lagos for them to make it.
Hi there, my name is Laura and you are welcome to another episode of Laura's Town Hall. And in the Town Hall today, I have 3 amazing guests. Wonderful people, wonderful conversations about to happen. You want to stick around for that. So we're going to go on a quick break. And when we come back, I will definitely be pleased to introduce you to my guests. Order! And we're back. Like the name says, Laura's Town Hall. I'm Laura, and I'm going to start introducing my guests from the extreme over there. The very amazing and talented Jekwu, amazing fashion stylist, and all-round gidiba guy. You get me? And next to him, I have the very beautiful Vanessa, TV presenter, and an amazing marketer. And then right next to her is the queen of action, MIA, Melody. When you know the party's about to start and she's there, it's about to be real lit. And they have all brought their case in point. Should we get along with it? We definitely should. I'm gonna start with you, MIA.
Hi, Laura.
Action queen. Queen in action. All right.
You're killing me.
Your case in point, girl.
Why is it that you have to move to Lagos to become famous? Now, I recently moved to Lagos from Ibadan.
Okay.
Right? And I realized that because we're having like superstars coming up every single day, we have people who have to move from Port Harcourt to Lagos. We have people who have to move from Abuja to Lagos. We even had some people who have to move from London, USA to Lagos just to be famous. We've had Tiwa Savage stories and all of that to be famous. Even Davido, Tenny, the number is countless, and Lagos is overpopulated. Why can't we have a superstar from Nigeria in any other city, in any other town in Nigeria? Why do they all have to move to Lagos just to become superstars? I'm not with that.
Okay, so we're gonna start with Jekwu. You have something to say. I can see that he's been tapping his glasses. Let's start with you.
So, you're right, definitely. The thing is, I feel like there is no. So it's the way the country is set up, right? Mm-hmm. This is like the entertainment place. Like anything entertainment, it has to be from Lagos, because like this is where everything is set up. Like I know like the Nollywood, early days of Nollywood, everything was in Surulere. Everything. In fact, that one you're even talking about Lagos. Like earlier in the day, it was Surulere. Like anything outside of Surulere, forget it. Like if you're not around there, if the production is not from there, forget it. It's not gonna blow. Do you get? So like, yeah, that's like the way it's set up. Like, and it has not. Unfortunately, we've not been able to spread that, across the country. I think Abuja people are trying. Like they've tried really hard for a long time. And they've also had a couple of stars pop up from there, like Style Plus. Yeah, I was gonna say that. Like
Demodu Black, Alfred
so,
P.
I kind of agree, but I also don't agree.
Okay.
A lot of the artists that we have now are not necessarily from Lagos. I think that their craft just needs to be consumed by people in Lagos for them to make it. Talk about people like MI and Jesse Jags and them not. They all came from Jos. Ice Prince is from Jos as well. So these guys are not necessarily from Lagos, and they didn't have to live here to make it. But then Lagos, unfortunately, is just a very fast-paced city. Even just driving around the major streets in Lagos, you would notice that there's major developments. You can go to Lekki Phase 1, and then in the next month you come and you see a new fashion house or a new eatery or whatever the case is. So there's definitely more money in Lagos. And if you have Lagosians consuming your craft, be it music, movies and whatnot, then yeah, there's every chance that you are going to blow. And it's pretty similar in America, because anyone who's in the fashion industry knows that if you're not in New York, I'm sorry, you haven't even started. So it's the same thing. Lagos is pretty much like the New York of Nigeria. It will be nice if the government will put in some more money to develop other areas so people don't feel like they need to get to Lagos to blow, quote unquote. But it is just what it is. And yeah, I mean, if you make it in Lagos, you make it anywhere else. If you can even drive in Lagos, you can literally drive, anywhere else because of how fast-paced it is. And like you said, overpopulated.
Maybe not
overpopulated to a certain degree. Yeah. So yeah, it is what it is.
I hear you, but I think I agree and I disagree. But I think I'm leaning towards the agree more because of the fact that at the end of the day, when they make it from the ends over there, they still have to come here.
That's literally what I'm
saying. Jesse?
You have to. So the thing is, coming here is because it's fast-paced. Most of the big concerts are happening here. Most of the shows are here. So they have to come here to perform. And then it only makes sense. You're not going to be traveling back and forth constantly. Even, for instance, someone like a Duncan Mighty was living in Port Harcourt for the longest. He even got a house here before everything kind of quieted down for him and he moved back to Port Harcourt. So, yes, they have to kind of move here because when you're getting booked for shows, most of the brands that are going to sponsor most of the events, they're all in Lagos. And they're concentrated in Lagos, not even necessarily Abuja, because Abuja is a bit quiet. And the people don't go out as much. But then Lagosians are always, nightlife is Lagos. Yeah. Right. Lagos is nightlife. So you have to be here to perform, to push your music. Even like our artists are going to like places like Obi's house, for instance, just to like show up and
on a Monday
sample their music and things like that, which was not happening before. Industry nights, all these events, everything happens in Lagos.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Right. I hear you and I see you. And we know how Thames, she was underground, and then from there, just a feature, another feature, she's global, she's just gone, right? Do you think that is something that could happen with an artist that is living in Abuja? An artist that is living in Abuja, let's take Bloody Civilian, for example, if she hadn't moved to Lagos. Imagine if she was in Abuja. I think she either got what's the name? The Black Panther feature. Give me a minute.
Okay.
Give me a minute. Okay. my lord. I think she either got the Black Panther feature when she newly moved to Lagos or when she was still in Abuja, but it was like in that her transition period, right? What if she had stayed there?
This is for Thames?
No, Bloody Civilian.
Okay.
What if she had stayed there, got a couple of deals, and from there became our own personal story of Afrobeat to the world? Why is Daddy, you have to move to Lagos factor?
So Thames didn't blow because she was in Lagos. Thames blew because she left Lagos.
Actually.
Yeah, she got featured by Wizkid on Essence, and she went to the States, and everything took off for her. She hasn't been in Lagos for all of 1 month. So it wasn't Lagos Lagos has nothing to do with Thames' story. That was just grace and just hopping on the right song at the right time, to be honest. Yeah. So
you get your diary sessions, you get your confessionals, and y'all can put it out there. Okay, interesting one. I like that. Now we're gonna move on to, let's give the man in the house his time to bring his case in point. But we're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, Jekwu, the stylist, has his case in point, and we're all excited to hear about it. Okay, stick around. Welcome back to the show. It is Laura's Town Hall. My name, of course, is Laura, and I have amazing guests so far. The conversations have been pretty exciting. We're about to start off with Jekwu and his case in point.
Yeah, so this is very personal to me, and so here it goes. Like, it's about like men's mental health and how it's being overlooked, especially in this part of the world, right? I know it's like a global thing, but like here is like major, right? How it's very unmanly to not express yourself or not come off, to not be able to like speak up about like your mental health or whatever, like
things.
what you're going through mentally and stuff. Yeah, so that really bothers me, because I feel like it's very, I feel like we need to do more about that, like educate people, like even like from primary school level and stuff, and even like in churches, that deep, you know, so that people or men can be encouraged to, you know, like speak up when they're about their mental health, because it's as much as like I don't know like the numbers or the I know like statistics. I don't know. I suicide is not like a big thing.
It's not a big thing in this part of the world,
but like people
the numbers are up there.
Yeah, like when you talk to your guys, like when you really have sessions with your guys, you feel it, like men are going through like major stuff and nobody wants to talk about it, including themselves, because like they don't want to look like the P word.
Okay, so let's throw it out in the open. Vanessa, do you agree that, you know, the conversation is not being had enough?
Yes, I definitely agree that the conversation is not had enough, but I don't know if we would blame society for that and the way we grew up, and also maybe, and in some way blame the men as well, because you said it yourself, a lot of men are just not vulnerable. They're just never really in touch with their feelings. But then again, that also stems from how you were raised. Growing up, there's a phrase, man up.
Men don't cry.
Do you understand? Men don't cry, man up, na man you be. So by the time that is said to you over and over again, you know that you're not supposed to cry in public. You're not supposed to react a certain way to certain situations, however you feel. You kind of just need to keep things bottled up inside. And I think a lot of men just kind of grew up with that mentality, that even when it becomes very overwhelming, they don't necessarily know how to then express themselves and say how they're truly feeling. Men in general are just not vulnerable. And I think that it's very important for guys to always have, even if it's just female friends that you're not necessarily messing around with, but because female friends that you can open up to and have genuine conversations. I would say female friends are not your partner, because sometimes even expressing it to your partner, they might look at you different. I'll give you an example. I used to always say that I wanted to date a guy who was in touch with his feelings. And then I started dating someone who cried a lot. and I swear to God.
I'm sorry for laughing. I shouldn't laugh.
No, you can't laugh. It's fine.
The way she said it.
But like,
actually, the way she said it.
I cry for movies. I cry when I see something interesting on Instagram. But then dating someone who's a crier made me now feel like I was the guy in the relationship. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm like, guy.
Yeah.
What? It was now a bit too much. So the first time it was cute. We cried together. We held hands. It was cute. It was really cute. The second time I was over it. I'm just like, yeah. Wow. So what are we doing? Because
like how many
tears are not healthy.
How many tears have you had?
Yeah, it was now a bit too much. And then I realized I was doing the same thing, where it's like, because he's a man, I'm not expecting him to cry. But it kind of made me look at him different, because he started to look weak in front of me. Even if whatever he was crying about was valid. But in that moment, it kind of just seemed like, dude, I'd rather conversation than tears. Because the tears don't solve anything. And also, if I'm being totally honest, tears is my own way of getting out of the situation. So if you're going to cry, how will I now use it? Do you understand? You are the one that's supposed to be crying. It's me that's supposed to cry, so that he will not comfort me. If you are now crying, who is going to
comfort the other?
Who is going to now fix who? So it was a bit of a problem for me.
I'm on the fence about this one, if I'm being very honest. So men should cry. If they want to cry in public, yes. But not all the time. And this is not even about men in particular. Everybody, even women, if a woman is crying all the time in public, she's going to get shite on. Like, people are going to, like, she will start taking the piece. And it's the same thing with a guy, like, crying all the time in public. And I do not mean public, like public spaces. Like, if you want to cry in public spaces, yeah. But like bringing it to the global village, which is the internet, and you're crying morning, afternoon, night. It can't be like 3 square meals.
But I think that I agree with you about mental health and stuff. Look at Tyrese, for instance. Every time he gets online and starts...
Even I had a thing to say about him. It's like, since this man started crying, he hasn't stopped crying.
Everybody's just like, dude, stop. I think it's also, there should be a bit of a balance. Emotional intelligence comes to play here. You can express yourself and talk about the things that worry you, but then crying, like sitting in front of camera and just like shedding tears.
Like
it's a bit of a weird one for me.
Control that? Like if you're an emotional person, you're an emotional person, regardless of your gender,
sure.
right? So like, if the tears come, one thing I can tell you for sure is that crying helps.
Yeah. Oh, it does.
It does help.
It definitely does.
It does help.
Like, if the man feels that, like, that's how he's gonna feel better, let him cry.
Yeah, so cry behind closed doors, please, men.
Okay. All right.
Cry behind closed doors and then come out and express yourself. How about that?
In that case, I pound my gravel.
Men should cry behind closed doors. No. Because I feel like, for me, it doesn't matter where it is. It doesn't matter the time and the place. If that is how you feel at the moment, you let it out. I think last month, I cried at ICM, car park, sat down somewhere, gave myself a good 3 minutes, cried, wiped my tears, and continued my journey.
But Melody, I want to come to you. He says crying helps. She says crying is okay, yes, but there's a limit to the crying.
Yeah.
What do you say?
I think like for women also, we also get a hard time, but not as men, but women also get a hard time when they are crying.
Yeah.
When you cry the first time, the second time, the third time, like you keep crying, people would get fed up. People would be like,
Why are you
you always crying? And even in relationships, right, when the woman is always crying, the man should get fed up at some point and be like,
Sure.
Why are you always crying? Why is crying a solution to everything? There should be a balance. And I would not agree. I would agree that we need some more enlightenment, but I will not argue that there is not enough enlightenment yet. Unlike the days where it used to be very terrible when you come out and say that, oh, your mental health is messed up. Now you have people that would come as a community for you, whether it's women, whether it's men, whether they're your fans. They could just be random male follower, and as a man you come out and you say, oh, I'm going through this, if I don't ask for help, nobody will help me, or something like that. Somebody will come out to assist you, like, bro, what's really going on? Like, what can I do for you, bro? It's always there. It's something that is present.
Yeah, it's better now.
But you know, where you said it's more of sensitization, right? So she said that men have been growing up with that culture of "na man you be." So right now there needs to be a change, which the change is already happening with the new generational parents. There needs to be a change in parenting styles where it is no longer "na man you be." It's now a sensitization that is okay to feel.
Cry.
Not to cry.
Not to cry.
You can cry if you want to, but it's okay to feel and be expressive about how you feel. And when it's very overwhelming, it's okay to let out the tears.
Right.
It's a sensitization. And I like the fact that you involve the churches, apart from the family, you involved the schools, because these are the first points a child has when growing.
Yeah.
I wanted to add something to that, and also for the men, I think it's also important that men make friends with other guys who are a proper support system for you.
Like women do.
I think like women do, because a lot of women just lean on their female friends to like talk through situations and stuff. I think men just look for guys, hey, let's go have a drink, and it pretty much ends there. And you don't have guys you can actually be vulnerable with and say, guy, see what I'm actually going through at work. Do you understand? So I think it's very important for guys to be friends with
So we're
people.
guilty as well.
Yes.
That's the truth. Like, we're guilty as well.
It's not just playing football and watching football
amongst
and
your
drinks.
friends, you know, like, and everybody is going through it, right? But nobody's going
Nobody wants to be
say
the first one to own up and say
anything,
this is what's
because
happening.
nobody wants to look at as a P word.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
You get your confessionals, you get your diary session. Absolutely enjoying the conversations that are happening here. Big shout out to my guests. Thank you guys so much. We're going to go on a quick break, and when we come back, there will be Vanessa with her case in point.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say, should I say MIA or should I just say Melody? But I'm used to calling you both of them at the same time. That's weird, no?
I think a lot of people are used to calling me that. Some people even put it together, Melody MIA. I'm like,
Right. Okay, so I'm not guilty then. But Action Queen.
use the MIA more.
Okay, girl. Now, Vanessa, your case in
Yes.
point.
My case in point, since we're all talking about things that are personal, my case in point is I feel like dating. I don't know if I'll limit it to Lagos, but I live in Lagos, so I'm going to speak about Lagos. Dating in Lagos is an extreme sport.
I think everybody here can collectively agree. I think there's no disagreeing in this
Yes.
particular one.
I am on the fence.
Oh, you're on the fence. Okay,
are.
okay. If you're on the fence, let's start with you then.
Oh, I thought she was going to make her case in
She
point.
already did. She already did.
She has said it all.
She already did because
She has said
extreme
it
sports.
all.
Yes, it is what it
You're
is.
on the fence.
So
I'm curious to hear what you have to say before I
To
say
be
more.
honest, I feel like the reason why I need her case in point to be made some more is because I need to hear everybody's stories.
Okay, so let me tell you why I say that. First of all, I think that I don't know when there was a shift in the culture, but guys don't chase girls, or they don't see the need to chase girls as much as they did back in the day. Back in the day, when a guy's like literally sitting in front of his laptop, burning a CD, writing
Trying
all the
to
lyrics of songs for you,
track
writing a
list.
love letter. They don't do that anymore. If a guy calls you once, twice, don't pick up, on to the next one. You're expecting 75 missed calls. It's not going to happen, not in today's age. And I think it's because social media plays a huge role in that. There's too many options out there. Like, there's girls everywhere. You go on Instagram, you go on Snapchat, go on TikTok, go to a wedding, go, like literally go anywhere, and there's people everywhere for you. So guys just don't feel the need to like waste time on one person when it seems like there's so many other options out there. That's one. Two, everybody just has that feeling of, you know, we're seeing all these motivational, so-called motivational quotes online where it's like,
So that's
if
supporting
it
your
doesn't serve
stupidity.
you, move to the next one. So everybody just has that
Individualism.
mentality that if I'm not happy here, move. And that's why you're seeing a lot of divorces after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Because once it gets a little bit difficult, people just feel like, no.
I'm done. I just want to move on.
It should be easier than this. But guess what? In our parents' time, it wasn't easier. They went through hell and back, and they stuck through it and forgave each other. But here, I don't think people are willing to forgive, entertain those conversations, even have serious conversations. Once it just doesn't align, once I don't feel happy here for all of 2 seconds, I'm out. And then let's face facts, especially people I think above maybe like in their 30s. People say they're single, but they're never really single. You get what I'm saying? So you're talking,
Single, but
you're
not
talking to a
single.
guy and he says, oh, I'm single.
Are you
And then
single?
It's like,
Or
okay,
single
but
in a relationship?
does the person you're with know that you're single too? Because you need to confirm you're single, but is she single? Because she might be seeing you, but you're not seeing her. Or a girl that says she's single, but then there's a guy somewhere who's like, you know, sorting out bills and taking care of her, whatever the case is, or a guy that'll get pissed off if you actually did get into a serious relationship. So it's a bit of a dicey.
Okay,
So yeah,
you know what, MIA?
case in point.
You know what, MIA? Okay, so let's. I like it. So I'm gonna start with the man in the room in the hall with us.
Why are you not chasing us anymore?
Before we get to the person who is on the fence.
I won't even lie. I do not chase anymore. Like, personally, yeah, I don't have the time for that. Because for me, personally, yeah, there's no, like the end point, my end point, what I'm seeing at the end, yeah, doesn't require that much chase.
Why would you say that?
What?
Yeah, because I'm not thinking about marrying you.
Okay, I see.
I'm not thinking about spending the rest of my life with you.
So what are you thinking about in your chase?
Just
That's a very bad
Hit it and dip it.
just like,
Hit it and dip it.
companionship.
thank you.
Okay.
Like do you, in your mind, when you're doing the chase, are you like, oh, this is going to take 2 years of companionship with this person, then I move to the next
No.
person?
It can take like, for as long as like whatever. Like, but there are some that have, before they even start, before I
They have
even talk
expiring
to them,
dates.
yeah, like they have expiring dates.
Oh.
Right? Yes, there
Wow.
are some of them like that.
Wow.
So, yeah, like I'm being for real. like,
Expiring
yeah.
date.
That women have an expiring date. So I have an expiring date, is what you're saying, basically. Honestly,
Yes.
Would
Like,
you-
relationship.
Oh,
Yeah.
can you expatiate on that? Expiring
I've
date.
adjusted myself.
Yeah, adjusted myself real quick because
An expiring date?
Okay, so when you say before you even talk to the person, it has expired. Like you already know. Is it like you already know, or they come with their own? Okay, I just want this for this amount of
no,
time.
that is me.
Okay,
That
that's
is me.
you.
Yeah, because
so what
like, the
determines
person-
that then?
So that by the time we start talking and we start talking and like we start vibing, right? I would know then whether I can push this
Further.
expiring date or not.
So the expiring date.
No, it exists. It's there.
But
it
it's
just
there.
gets
It's
pushed
acceptable
forward
to
Yes.
back. This is just to the women. This is why they ask women to just up their value and just do good for yourself, have financial freedom, so that things like this don't get brought up. I think that men would only say this if you only look at a woman for her physical attributes and not what she can, quote unquote, bring to the table. If you don't see any family values and all these other things that are deeper than that, then yes, of course you want to put an expiring date, like he said, on it. Because, I mean, why else would you have an expiring date for a woman you barely even know? Make it make sense, please.
It's like,
Depending
okay,
on the
this girl
conversation.
is actually like deeper than or
she's
nicer than I.
gang.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
okay, you know what? We could be friends. We could actually be friends.
So
Like,
you go from lovers to friends.
That's how
Lovers?
most people move.
I know. I mean, okay, pardon me. Maybe
partners.
Partners.
Yes, that I'm sure you've heard that term. Like in recent times,
Partner.
you hear that term a lot.
yeah.
People don't use lovers or boyfriend, girlfriend
girlfriend.
anymore
Why is that though?
because they are not boyfriends. They are not lovers. They are partners.
Anti-fence.
What's the difference?
Yeah.
Difference is we're just having sex.
See all of us just collectively.
Wait, which one is the we are just having sex?
Partner.
The
partner.
partners.
Or hold on.
MIA. Like
Hold on. So
we
there
had
are
the
different.
same
There are different.
reaction.
There are different categories, yeah. And I'm not a specialist at this, but like I can tell you that there are some situations where these guys are together,
Right.
right? But they are not lovers. They are not like boyfriend girlfriend. They are. But they don't even refer to themselves
As lovers.
boyfriends.
Okay, so
girlfriends.
but then
They don't. You can't. You. She would not
It's a little
introduce.
tricky.
She would not introduce him as my boyfriend, and he would not introduce her as my partner. That is what you.
but like as partners, pardon me. I know I don't really have a case in point, but I know that as partners, if you're lovers, isn't being lovers being the fact that you are also, in the coitus process, but you're also friends. Even as partners, you're in the coitus situation and you're friends.
So because like there's this thing that comes with boyfriend or girlfriend, like we look at it is like a higher level.
of
The tag.
Yeah.
That's an actual tag.
yeah.
But partner is a tag
Partner is
too.
a tag.
Nah, not really.
But not as
Love-
deep as.
Not
Okay,
really,
you were on the
yeah.
fence. Let's bring it to MIA. You were on the fence. What were you on the fence about?
Okay, what is this question exactly? 'Cause I think we've done a lot of going around that. I'm still where Jekwu was.
Even me,
I'm trying to process
You were on the
it.
fence about dating being an extreme sport.
Okay,
Yeah.
extreme sport. in
Okay,
Lagos.
so the reason why I was on the fence was because I just nearly moved to Lagos, so I have like little
don't
idea
think it's
of
a
how
Lagos
the
thing
dating
anyway,
industry
like,
is.
right
But
now.
this is another reason. That's one reason. But let me talk about why I'm on the fence about this. So, last episode, I watched your last episode, baby girl. One of the guests was talking about how money has become a factor in everything we are doing, right? We are becoming very money conscious as a people, as grown people. Like even people that are 22 are very money conscious.
you say
these
22.
days.
Bring it down.
See, are very money
Yeah.
conscious these days. And as an adult, let me say as an adult, like you are in your late 20s, early 30s, your money consciousness is more than ever before. So you do not have the luxury of time. What you're more concentrated on is getting your life fixed. That's
Together.
where so your time is going more into that most times. And now this is where the problem is, communication. So the men are not communicating that, look, I don't have time to give you a relationship, and all I just want to do is to have somebody that I can be releasing my stress with, you know, some
she makes that sound so nice. Isn't it releasing my stress
bedroom
with?
activities sometimes, other times maybe we can go on a date as friends. You know, they're looking for a companion basically, right? And the women, even though the women are looking for money also, they're also concentrated on love. Same thing with the way we were brought up. They want love. They're not just looking for a casual companionship. They're looking for a lifetime companionship.
Just the way things have.
They're looking for a lifetime
you
companionship.
Okay, go ahead.
They're looking for a lifetime companionship, and this because the communication is not there that, yo, this is what I'm looking for, and the guy is not coming out right and saying, yo, this is it. There's no chasing. He's looking for money instead. So you are doing shakara because you have to preserve yourself now. You have to not really, and even if you're not doing shakara, but you're just like, look at me, I'm bare on the table. Just bring all your cards to the table. They would never bring their cards to the table, either for the chase of money or because they know like what women want is not what they want. So they would rather not bring their cards fully to the table and say, yo, I can't chase you, to be honest. If we start dating, probably I may date you, I may not date you, but I really can't chase you, but I just want your companionship.
Do you think that men are also avoiding, so like he said, the difference between partners and putting a serious tag on a boyfriend, girlfriend because of this new billing? You know, once you start talking to a babe, she expects you to...
Responsibility.
My rent is due, my car is broken, my mom is ill, I need to do my hair, I need to buy this, I need to buy this, I need to buy that. Do you think that a lot of guys are just running away from that because they think it's ridiculous? And once you meet a girl, it's almost like you're taking on her responsibility instantly, and they don't want to have to deal with that, especially when, like he said, if I'm not thinking I'm marrying this person... Why do I want to take that off? When the economy is already hard, I'm still trying to feed myself. Yeah. Exactly. Why do I want to feed somebody else? Do you think that also plays a role in like why it's difficult to date now?
I think it does, and let me finish this one. She asked a question. Don't leave me hanging.
Okay. I'm not gonna leave you hanging. I'm gonna give you 1 minute to wrap that up.
So I think it does, but also in the angle of enlightenment happening right now, in the sense of that what they used to chase before, how they used to live life before is becoming different. It's becoming very different from us. So the man is proud to be a provider back in the day. All he wants to do is to get a very fine bride, put her in the house and provide for her. But now we're in the era where men are realizing that, being the sole provider and also being the provider is back-breaking, and they're not taking it anymore. They're like, you know what, I can't do that. If I'm going to date a woman, she has to be working. They don't want to just take the whole responsibility. Yeah. Now, when they now realize that this is for someone that is not potentially my wife, they would rather not put a tag on it, and they just want to play around. So they just keep working and saving that money for the person that will be their wife.
Okay, but I think somehow I kind of disagree. I think this is the first time I'm disagreeing on the show. I think this is the first time I'm disagreeing on the show. I think there are still men that want to be providers. I think there are still men who would rather, like, there are men who still take pride in the fact that, you know what, you're my girl, you're my woman. I should provide for you.
Guess what, Laura? They're married. And they want to provide for their mistresses.
No, but there are some.
I can guarantee you.
There are some single ones
really,
too.
Not really. The thing is, naturally, the man takes pride in this shit.
In provision.
Yes, like, you get. Yeah, I think I can agree. Like, married men are mostly the ones that, you know, like, are the providers these days. Not like there are no single men that don't provide. Like, I would say that every man takes pride in providing. But like today in this city, it's mostly like when you hear such situations, it's mostly, you know, married men. But it comes with stuff that generally women, that's the truth, generally women would not want.
What is the stuff?
so when a man is doing all of that, right? Just like our fathers and grandfathers, they expect a certain level of
submission.
What's the word? Submission.
I was going to say control.
And
Did you say control? She was going to say control.
and that in today's world is almost a dream.
I would disagree with that as well.
I disagree as well.
I disagree too.
I would
if a man
disagree
is
with
providing
that.
for you, naturally submission comes. Most of the
Yeah.
time.
I think so too.
Except the girl just has coin on her head.
Let's add
That's
Yeah,
it.
but you know the thing, like
How do I
mean, you
explain
can't
it?
you can't give a girl 5K and she wants to submit. I mean, do you get what is 5K? What am I doing with your 5K? Do you get me?
no, what I'm
people
talking
get
about.
5K and
No,
expect
like
her to
if
submit.
this girl, the thing is, yeah, you're making your own money, obviously, right? So there's a certain level of submission that is expected of you.
Even if you're making
that
your own money.
Even if this person is paying for everything in your life, vacations, all of that, but you are making your own money. You know that you can afford some of these things. Maybe not at that level, but some of these things.
I mean, if he's spending
Quick one.
$10,000, I
Quickly,
can
just quick
spend
one.
1K.
Wait, just quick one. I'm just going to take it back to the Bible, right? Where there's a part in the Bible that says, love your wife. Women, submit to your husband. Love.
Is that not the Old, is that not the
provision.
Old Testament?
Apart from provision, love also brings
Is that not Old
submission.
Testament? Is that not Old Testament?
No, it's not.
Is that not Old Testament?
It's not.
Even if I not sabi Bible, not be Old Testament, be that.
It's the New Testament.
Which
girl.
part of it?
I'm serious.
You have your diary session.
serious.
You get your diary session. Order in the town hall. Is that not Old Testament? I'm absolutely enjoying the conversations today. Thank you guys so much. It is quite insightful. I absolutely love it. But I mean, you have brought your case in point to me. So I'm, the church. In my own town hall. But there's so many things that were said today that I do agree with and disagree with. I mean, the ones that I disagreed with, I did say about them. And the ones that I agree with. So I'll start with you. Mental health. Yes, it has gotten to a point where the conversation is being had, right? And like Vanessa said, the men also have a part to play. Like you said, the men have a part to play. Like she said, like I feel like we have all collectively agreed that. I mean, she said something and she said she wouldn't agree that it's not spoken enough about. It is spoken enough about. I feel like somehow we're trying to overcompensate for the fact that it wasn't spoken about before. That now we're having the conversation, but it more has to happen.
Yeah.
It's not as much as it is supposed to happen. But like she said, your community, your people, it's not about just going out to go and drink beer. Like when you go out with your friends, Jekwu, when you guys go out, are you all allowed to be as vulnerable as you want to be? And this is an honest question. With yourselves, within yourselves.
I mean, like now for me, I always put that on the table. I always make it.
So the conversation starts
with you. It's a big deal
you.
for me. Yeah, it's a big deal for me. So I always make it a good environment for anyone to lay it down.
I agree. That's how it starts. One person starting a conversation and then it goes on. But would you agree with me that because it hasn't been spoken for or about for the longest time, we're kind of now are trying to make up for lost times?
Yeah. And I think it's valid.
Now, for the dating in Lagos being an extreme sport and men no longer wanting to be providers, I would not really agree with that. Maybe from my, point of view, from my angle of my own POV. I have been very fortunate. I say that a lot. Like I tell people, it's not like I go around and I brag about it, but I have been very fortunate with partners. Let me use your word. With partners, right? To the point that it's not even about a married man or no. Like I've dated single men who have, if for some reason they feel like there's excess spending that they don't know how it came about. They're like, where'd you get the money? Did I give you some? Did something happen automatically that we didn't talk about and I didn't know that, this happened or that happened? They want to know. They want to make sure that your life is easy. They
don't want you spending.
They don't want me spending. I don't know if it's maybe the kind of people that I date or the kind of men that I date, but I've been quite fortunate. I'm not going to lie about that. And I do also agree with you that dating in Lagos is an extreme sport, because you would be talking to a guy and then somehow maybe you bump into him outside and he's with a girl. The girl automatically becomes his cousin, but 2 weeks later he's marrying her at the altar.
It happens.
It has happened.
You see why I'm on the fence?
It has happened.
Oh no, like that's even like
It has
that's even,
happened.
like, a very good story. That story is not.
No, personally, I have experienced that. Personally,
That is.
yes,
nothing.
it was his cousin, but they got married.
That's nothing.
And in the
Family
case,
ties.
with who and who? With who? This ain't the great Drake and Kendrick Lamar situation. I mean, what's his name? But and then in your case of coming to Lagos to blow, I totally agree with you. I mean, like I said, maybe it was off camera, but they always have that country home back there. Fino, for example, if Lagos gets too stressful, Piam, Ojebe Enugu. Do you understand? They all have the places that they go to at the end of the day. I mean, isn't that why they say Igbo people always go to their village during Christmas, in December time? You know, people who are Lagosians, who are not really Lagosians but are Yoruba, they go to Ogun, they go to Oshun, they go to Oyo, they go to their different places. You, if you wanted to get away and you couldn't afford to go abroad, Ibadan is your next point of view because it feels like home to you. So even though you've come to Lagos to hustle and do what you got to do, you always have that back home.
So Lagos apparently is the hustle city.
Lagos is the hustle city. Like she said, it's the New York of Nigeria.
It's a numbers game.
It's a numbers game, and we have the population here.
They need to.
Where the numbers
That's
are.
the problem. It just keeps. People keep coming.
So where else do you want to go?
Can we separate it? Can some people have their numbers in Abuja?
Well,
Can some people have in Port Harcourt?
It can start like that, but it's a lot. It's a lot. The government has to do a lot.
Yes,
but
I agree with that.
Yeah, there has to be like significant developments in other
You lot have been
states.
so wonderful. Thank you so much. I absolutely enjoyed. I'm emotional. But it was so good. Thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you, Jekwu. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you, Melody. Thank you so much for watching Laura's Town Hall. Hope to see you on the next episode. Until then, mwah. Adios, amigos.